Tiger Comics.
Tiger Comics! Nighttiger Comics! Tiger Comics! What? Nighttiger Comics?
Yeah.
Alright, this is part 2 of the keys. My first 2 videos of 2020. Go back and watch one if you haven't, and you'll see how I got these keys for really, really cheap at the flea market. But if you haven't watched the first one, I want to share this with you. I was in Dominican Republic for 2 weeks, and there's virtually there is no comic books there at all. But I found this. I was so excited when I was there. I was like this little kid, and people were like freaking out. They're like, man, this dude's like 50, and he's acting like he's like 7 years old. I thought this was just the neatest thing. And so I have to show it one more time. This is DC and Marvel characters in one package. You'll never see this in the States because this, of course, is unofficial licensed. This is made in China. And just imagine the money they're making off this that Marvel and DC are losing, because they stole the property of their characters unlicensed, and they're selling these and also 3-packs in supermarkets all across South America. So there you go. You got Spider-Man and Superman, Batman, and Iron Man all in one package. And here it says Super League, Superheroes League. Pretty cool. I really thought this was the neatest thing. And I had to get it back here to the States. I put this up on my shelf. It looks so cool up there. Anyway, so I just showed this last video. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch. And let's move on to the next one. So this was an eBay buy. This was like $5, man. February 1959, Strange Tales, number 67. So with shipping, I was like $7 to $8. It does have water staining up there. But I'm going to press this sucker out. I read it. Pretty cool stuff. You know, they're watered down stories because of the comic code. When I was in DR, I made goals to read 2 big books that I was halfway through or a little bit into. One was the 10-Cent Plague, which was the history of the comic book scare from 1948 all the way up to 54. You would not believe the hysteria that went on in this country over comic books. It was unbelievable. I was shocked. I mean, I had known about it, but in detail, when you read it, it was just hundreds of thousands of comic books were burned. I mean, that is just sad. And a lot of times the people who were burning them weren't doing it because they hated comics. Because they were kids. They were just doing it because the adults asked them to, and they wanted to be part of something that was empowering them. And so just tons and tons of Golden Age and, Golden Age comics were just destroyed. And then later on, finally the country woke up and realized what they were doing was similar to what the Nazis did before World War II started. So instead of burning them, they just took them to the dump and they dumped them. Sad stuff, man. Really sad. So yeah, at the flea market, I picked up another high copy of one of these gold key Lost in Space issues from April 75. Man, I've been finding tons of these really high grade lately. And it's a show I watched growing up. Netflix has a reboot, which is pretty good. And there's a history behind this that Lawrence on King of Comicdom has talked about. I've talked about too, about how CBS actually stole the property of this premise, Swiss Family Robinson. They made a TV show. They called it Lost in Space, but they stole everything from Gold Key. And Gold Key was set to sue them, but they figured, you know what? They had a working relationship with the company, and they didn't want to destroy it, so they just decided to rename the title Swiss Family Robinson Lost in Space. This was $1. Thought it was a pretty cool cover. I just slipped my mind that it was a key and realized it when I got home. That this is from January 1999, first appearance of American Dream, who is Sharon Carter. And she's the niece of Agent 13 from S.H.I.E.L.D. This also has the first appearance of Cold Tiger, T'Chaka's Black Panther's son. This is also the first appearance of the Dream Team, free booster, Crimson Curse, and Blue Streak. Pretty cool, nice near mint copy. That was $1 from the flea market. Another vendor had like 5 or 6 books. I grabbed 2 of them for $1. And one I had just crossed off my, well, I didn't really cross it off my list. I just thought if I'm going to pay $1 I'm going to only pay $1 for this book if I find it. I never thought I would because it was so hot. So that's the first solo series featuring Blade from July 1994. And that was $1 from that vendor. He didn't even know what he had. He had a picnic. He actually had a picnic basket with the comic books in it. And he had that one and he had this one. Just a nice gold embossed title there from June 1999. Superman, King of the World. I believe it's a one-shot. Really nice, thick book too. So pick those 2 up for $1. This was $1 at the local LCS. One they probably just overlooked. This is the first appearance of Spoiler, Stephanie Brown. She's the daughter of Clue Master. She becomes the 4th Robin and the 4th Batgirl. She also had her own Batgirl series in 2009. She returned to her Spoiler character in 2011 in the New 52 Batman Eternal series. This is from July 1992, number 647 from Detective Comics. Nice mint copy for $1. Got this from eBay for $30. They priced it as, or they graded this as a 0.5 because it's missing a panel in one page. The cover is slightly loose. I pressed this out and kind of tightened it up. I'm hoping that I really brought this up to at least a 1.8. But just glad to have it. This isn't a hot book. Red Guardian is appearing in the Black Widow movie. So this book is really, I think it's reaching like the $100 mark now for a mid-grade copy. I did read this years ago in the reprint series that Marvel had. What was it called? I don't remember. That they reprinted in the 70s all the Avengers issues. This book was a key. I saw this on Bubs. I'm like, man, I definitely want to get this. It's the second appearance of Electro. First crossover with the Fantastic Four in the Daredevil title. This is from June 1964. And definitely a low-grade copy. This has a binding repair on it, or added piece of tape here, and then a piece of tape up here. It is definitely all attached. I would put this at probably a 2.0. I paid, what did I pay for this book? Like $40 shipped, which isn't bad, really. Sometimes you can find that one seller that just wants to get the book gone. A lot of these books will sit for a while because of their prices. So, speaking of that, I think I saw this one on Bubs too. I don't know if I saw this on Bubs. I saw it on somebody's, but I definitely saw this one. Bubs showed his copy. I said, that's a key I want to get. I usually don't go after keys on eBay. This was another eBay purchase. This is number 7, April 65, debut of the red suit, classic Wally Wood cover. I think I may have paid $35 for this. I paid $70 for this with shipping. I won it was auction, so I outbid everybody at the last minute, $65. So I paid $70 for this with shipping, and it was $35, and I think $40 with shipping for this one. So I got my Daredevil keys. I have number 6, I have number 5, and I have number 3. So number 1 is one that I hope to get in the future, probably not anytime soon. I don't really go after that stuff. This one, man, this video seems to be a little longer. I picked this up also off eBay. I paid $25 with shipping. First Taskmaster cameo, George Perez art, May 1980. Number 195. I do have 196 that I purchased several years ago. I did have the toy reprinted this. I said it's time that I get this one in my collection. And my thinking was I better just go and try to get it before it's out of reach, because I think this one probably may hit the $75 mark by maybe the end of this year. And sometimes these books they go up, they may come down a bit when they're nice, good characters like Taskmaster. This may go up to $7,500. It may come down to like 60, but it'll probably stabilize around 60, 50, and then you're never going to be able to. You don't want to pay that. Just a nice mint copy of Power Man number 132, 1976. Yeah, actually, these early issues, when they're nice mint copies, they go for quite a bit. My LCS has 4 single-digit issues, and he's won 20. I almost picked him up at the sale for $8 a piece, but because I was running out of money, I put him back. This was $1 at the flea market. This is the first actual reprinting ever of Detective Comics number 1. This is the first issue in the Millennial series, but it wasn't until issue 2 that they started referring to this as the Millennial editions. And this is cover C of Detective Comics number 1 from January 2001. And this book can go for quite a bit of money too. I'm not sure, but I'm sure it can go between $10 and $20 in a nice, great copy like that. This was another dollar book that I found at the flea market. Giant-sized Doctor Strange, number 1 from 1975. This is one you don't see too often, and when you do, it's pretty beat up, especially because, you know, the square bound. But this one is just a nice copy. I'd have to put this in probably close, maybe I would say a 9.0. And you rarely find these in such high-grade copies. Another comic from another vendor at the flea market, Webster Flea Market. I talk about this flea market all the time. It's only open on Mondays. It's a huge, one of the biggest flea markets in Florida. And the town pretty much built itself up around this flea market. And another vendor had a bunch of Dennis the Menace comics. He said those were $5 and all the romance comics were $2. So that's a no-brainer for me. I'm picking up the Golden Age reprint from Fox. This is by IW. It's number 9 from 1954. And these are low-grade copy. You always find these at low grade. I recently, in the last 2 years, have found 2 different copies high grade from IW, which is rare. Okay, picked this up the other day. I paid $15 for this. This was a book that I've been trying to get for at least the last 4 years. I found several issues. People wanted up $100 for this. I'm like, I don't think so. Now, this isn't a high-grade copy. This is probably an 8.0, maybe a 7.5. It's got some browning up here. Other than that, there's nothing wrong with it. So I don't know what grade that might be. Hopefully an 8. But this, I bought it from my LCS owner. This is the second ongoing series of Wonder Woman by George Perez from 1987. This is the variant that, well, so I'm looking at this book, and you can see it right here. It has no month on it. So I'm telling my LCS owner, I said, this is weird. I can't find anything about this book. There's the newsstand edition, there's the direct market, but this doesn't look like either one. So then as I'm checking out, he looks it up. He goes, oh, that's the no-month variant. That's more expensive. I'm like, oh my goodness, why did I open my mouth? But he thought it over, and he goes, I'll just give it to you for what I got on it. You always buy from me. You spend a lot of money, and you're a regular customer. So he gave it to me for $15. So happy to have this in my collection. I've been wanting this book for a long time. I have not read it yet. I cannot wait to read it. Anyways, we got to move on. This thing is going longer than last video, and it's going to go over 15 minutes. This one might not be going up on... Anyways, Punisher, of course, these are the Lauren Michaels issues of Lady Punisher. Second appearance, third appearance, 73, 74. December 1994, January 1995. I was finding these for dollars all the time. Love these. They're near mint copies. I traded my She-Hulk number 1 that I had 3 copies of for one copy for this. Deadpool number 1, first ongoing series. First appearance of Blind Al. First appearance of Cannon Fodder. January 1997. Nice 9.8 copy. Defenders number 12. Just the issue I was missing. Really nice grade copy. Nice white pages in this. This is a nice high grade. Glad to have that. Oh, yes. This really low grade copy. It's even trimmed, but I didn't pay a lot for it. I think I paid $25 shipped. Number 107. I think this is the first time that Submariner and Human Torch fight since the Golden Age, and this is April 1963. Very cool. I did read that. Really good. I picked up another Strange Tales, number 127, December 64. The Mystery Villain. Oh, this went over 15 minutes. That sucks. This will not be going up on IGTV. This is number 11 of Marvel Premiere, 1973. This is the retold origin of Doctor Strange by Steve Ditko. That's reprinting of the original origin from Strange Tales. And then this is a big key. I'm surprised it doesn't go for more money. This is the first time that Doctor Strange actually becomes the Sorcerer Supreme. He takes over from the Ancient One who passed away. Pretty cool. I didn't even know that when I got this. I am so happy to have this in my collection. So we got 2 more books left. We got Avengers, number 116, October 73. Just part of the Avengers Defenders War, part 3. I read this. Really, really good story. Oh, you know Bronze Age Marvel. It is so good. And last but not least, this one's been on my radar. Steve from I Love Disney and Comics, you're the one that put it there. I knew what it was. I was never really kind of going after it. Then when I saw your copy, I said, I got to find me one. And I'm not buying it off eBay. I finally found one at my LCS. Marvel Premiere number 3. You know that the first 2 issues are Warlock issues. This is the second ongoing solo series of Doctor Strange. And definitely read this. Really, really, really good story in here. I believe. Yeah, this is Barry Windsor and Stan Lee. The art in here was really good. Sets up the whole premise of the next ongoing series. That's all that I have. This is the end of my keys, part 1, part 2. These are my first videos from 2020. Guys and gals out there, you comic book junkies, you freaks, you geeks, I got a big Golden Age haul coming. Some nice Golden Age books. Since this ran over, let me tell you a cool experience that I had with somebody selling on eBay. I bought a nice, well, it's a low-grade copy, but it's all together of early Doll Man from the Golden Age for $28 shipped. Then the person messaged me. They said, I'm sorry, I put the wrong label on your book and shipped it out, so it went to somebody else. I'm refunding your money, but if the book comes back, I'll send it to you for free. And I'm thinking, it's gone. It's not coming back. I happened to message him yesterday. I said, any luck on that book? And the lady's like, oh, guess what? It came back. So I'm shipping it out today to you. So I got a Golden Age Doll Man issue for free. That is so cool. Some people are so nice, you know. So this is Nighttiger saying stay tuned. Hauls are coming up for the new year. Happy New Year.